Hello, everybody. You may not know this, but you, my viewers, make my day. You are all really wonderful. So thank you, wonderful viewers. A lot of people should be wondering, are we in the end times? Is Jesus coming soon? I mean, soon as in our lifetime, maybe 10, 20 years or less. We're going to do some research today. We're going to do some Bible reading. And we're going to do some research on the internet. I don't know if any of you have heard of the beast or the beast system, but we're going to research that. And I also have some books to recommend besides the King James Bible. If I were you, I would avoid the New Living Translation because there are differences. Maybe in a video I can read one and the other and show you where the new version leaves something very important out, just cuts it out. So, I'll tell you, if you want to learn a little bit about the U.S. government and all about the system behind it, I would say you probably learned something because in school they only teach you so much. But the limousine, I remember bringing up the limousine for the president. Back when Barack Obama was president, same limo. And by the way, this video is on YouTube by a channel called The Richest. Yeah, he's just kind of explaining how it's called the Beast and all this stuff and all the features.
Force One. The President of the United States has a large arsenal of other vehicles to tour the country and other nations with. One of which is the prize armored limousine nicknamed due to its hefty size, the Beast. Today, we're going to take an in-depth look at this impressive and expensive limo, from why it was built to what the features are of the luxury motor.
Okay, so you have the vehicle which carries the president, who's just a human. Some people might say, well, this guy is the Antichrist, or they've said that for a long time. Don't you think the Antichrist would be a little better at hiding than being the president? So, yeah, he's the president of the U.S., but, yeah, you know that in Revelation 16 it talks about the number of a man. And you know what the number is. It's very famous. We all have heard what the number is, but a lot of people have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Well, if you look in the Bible and you just look at, like, the 4th book of Moses called Numbers, isn't that funny? It's called Numbers. It gives you a little idea. Chapter 1, verse 2. Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls. And he lists all the people. I'll just give an example here. Of this is verse 22 of the same chapter. Of the children of Simeon, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, those that were numbered of them, according to the number of the names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upwards, all that were able to go forth to war. I'm going to stop that for there. It's hot and I need some water, excuse me. It's either drink some water or I'm not going to make it. But we're going to do some more Bible reading that's going to explain a little bit about some of the things that Jesus Jesus said due to the Pharisees, and also from the Revelation of John. But first I want to tell you something that's very interesting. Have any of you Christians heard of the Sanhedrin court? The ones that wanted Jesus to be killed. Well, if you look up line, you're going to find that there's a new Sanhedrin court. I'm not kidding you. But they call themselves the Nascient Sanhedrin court. Nascient. But also, I wanted to, I'm sorry I'm jumping around, but, viewers, click, just, I gotta hold your attention span. Not most of you, but some of you. Hey, I understand, I'm the same way. So, now we have another Sanhedrin court. They have built a Jewish synagogue beneath the, what you would call the Al-Aqsa Mosque area, the whole temple complex. But if you read through history, the Romans built something, what was it called? Oh gosh, give me a minute here. Well, they built their army fortress, Fort Antonio, and it was huge. So, it's what I think is that Fort Antonio was what was on top of what they call the Temple Mount. But I don't know. The Jews have been displaced and harassed by so many people that when they finally came back to Israel and Jerusalem, it is possible that they could have been mistaken that that whole complex was just Fort Antonio, which they thought was the old temple. It's just an idea. Any of you guys here love beautiful stories? Huh. There is this book called 90 Minutes in Heaven. Have any of you guys ever been into an accident where you at least were trapped in your vehicle and maybe you broke a bone or had a major concussion or something and you had to be rescued? Well, this is extreme. This book is something you have to read. It probably doesn't show up very well, but on the cover here it says 90 Minutes in Heaven, and there's an ambulance driving down the road. Oh man, Don Piper. It kind of is confusing for the author because the author says that it's Cecil Murphy, but Don Piper, I can't remember if that was the man who was in the accident and was pronounced. I mean, okay, he was hit by a semi head on till the semi kind of rolled onto the roof and crushed the driver's side so severely that the man who was driving, I mean, it was a horrible, horrible condition. But he wasn't dead. And he experienced 90 minutes of utter bliss. This is Amazon.com, a little review. It says a little bit. I'll read what it says. On the way home from a conference, Don Piper's car was crushed by a semi-truck that crossed into his lane. Medical personnel said he died instantly. While his body lay lifeless inside the ruins of his car, Piper experienced the glories of heaven, awed by its beauty and music. Yeah, I would recommend buying the book. Just buy the book. if you don't believe in God, it's just a beautiful story. If you do believe in God, it's going to strengthen your Holy Spirit, I think. Such a beautiful thing. And it should make all of us sad as Christians, no matter if your ancestry is Jewish, or if, you know, you're not Jewish, you're another type. All creatures that accept Jesus can be saved. But it makes you sad how in Jesus' time, how the Jews, not all of them, but the Sadducees, the Pharisees were so lost because they're the chosen people. What if the so-called church right now is acting like that? It's sad. But this is the times that we're in. A little example here from the Bible. Matthew chapter 16, verse 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would shew them a sign from heaven. And Jesus, talking here, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, you say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but ye cannot discern the sign of the times. And it goes on like that, chapter 4. I will read it. Not chapter 4, but verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And this is not to beat anyone with the Bible. How is anyone going to be saved? You're getting beaten by it. It's just that this is past times, and it kind of relates to today. People act today like they did back then. People say, well, this book, the New Testament was written like 2,000 years ago. What does it have to do with today? Well, as far as you can read back into the history, people acted pretty much the same. And so, the only difference is the passage of time. You know that. People that have been around a long time. And I tell you what, think of these times as a beautiful time to be alive. If we survive and we prep and we take care of things, and we live to see Jesus coming, you know that you're going to see the dead rising from the grave before we're taken out. That's what I get from the Bible. And remember, there's not like a warning really, like, oh, Jesus is coming in 5 minutes. In Revelation, chapter 16, verse 15, and this is Jesus speaking. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Because he comes like a thief in the night. And let me tell you something very important about your government and the world governments in war. There's already all these signs. Come on. I could read the whole book of Revelation, but we already have wars and rumors of wars. We have pestilence and disease. And, if a certain volcano, which I did a video of, goes off, it will produce a lot of those things. It doesn't need to. God can bring those things to us. So what is the beast? Well, it's very interesting. John is having a revelation when he was in the island called Patmos, excuse me. I'm going to read the Revelation of John from the King James Bible, New Testament, chapter 17, and verse 1, partly through the first verse. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-covered beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones, and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And then verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. I'm going to pause there. A lot of people think Jesus would never allow us to suffer. We're going to be raptured before anything happens. Well, why is it talking about the martyrs of Jesus? Is it just talking about times past? And if so, why did Jesus let them be martyred? Come on. You need to be prepared. There's so much to say that I can't say enough. Anyway, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. This was John. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. Verse 9, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And I'm going to go ahead and not read verse 10 because you can do that. How many continents are on the globe? Seven mountains where the woman sitteth. So it's a world beast system, and we have evidence that it exists, and so I would say that it's either getting prepared to be, because everything's lining up all the, like if you're going to build a house, you get all your ducks in a row, and then you complete it and you move in. Boom. So the enemy is doing the same thing, getting all his ducks in a row so he can move in and have control. Remember the parable of the fig tree. When it puts forth fruit, you know that summer is near. Isn't that how it goes? Wow. I'll tell you, we're going to get more interesting than this and have way higher quality videos than this in the future. I just need you to keep supporting me. Pretty soon we're going to, probably be starting to try to build the bathroom. It needs a lot of work. It's going to have a basement, a very small basement, just to store food in and stuff like that, and plumbing, of course. So it's going to be very interesting. I hope I've inspired you. My viewers, you guys have inspired me a lot. And And that's saying a lot because I'm jaded and I'm not easily impressed. It's actually taking my happiness to a higher level, just knowing some of you viewers of mine. So please subscribe if you haven't. If you watch this far in, thank you so much for watching. And again, I just want people to pray for the world. And if we are in the beach system, that more people will be saved. Because think about it. When the dead are rising from the graves and you're raptured, that's going to be it. Then everyone else will be judged. And you don't, as Christians, we don't want people to be judged in a way where they're going to be damned. So we have to work hard to save souls right now. Okay? Maybe live off grid and build yourself a cabin. It's really worked out for us. Thank you guys so much.